In 1981, a seemingly ordinary event took place. Jake Patterson, 21 years old at the time, found himself stopped in his car behind a school bus. A simple glance revealed a young 13-year-old girl boarding the bus, a typical scene that would usually provoke a passing smile from most. However, for Patterson, within his mind, this specific moment would start a sequence of events that would defy understanding and comprehension. Hello and welcome to TTHL. Today we explore the terrifying abduction of Jayme Lynn Closs. Jayme Lynn Closs was born in 2005 and was the only child of James and Denise Closs, 56 and 46 years old respectively. Both of Jayme's parents worked for the local Jennie-O turkey plant in their hometown of Barron, Wisconsin. Ironically, Patterson had been returning from working temporarily at the same meat plant when he stopped behind Jayme's bus on that fateful day. Patterson had been to Jayme's home twice prior to her abduction in order to meticulously plan out every detail of his crime, including shaving his face and head so he would leave no DNA, removing the light out of the trunk of his car in hopes of preventing Jayme from locating the latch and escaping, and using stolen license plates from another car as not to be identified as he escaped with Jayme into the night. However, October 15, 2018 would be his third and final trip. Around 1 a.m., he quietly drove up and parked his car in the driveway of the Closses' home. Wearing a black coat and face mask, he approached the house, carrying a shotgun. Jayme was awakened first by the sound of the family dog barking and looked out to see Patterson approaching the house, someone who she had never seen before. She then notified her parents and her father quickly went to investigate. James Closs peered through the glass pane in the front door and was startled by a man in a black ski mask demanding to be let in. Patterson then forced his way through the front door and ordered James to the ground. Jayme recalled her father asking to see his badge, thinking he was the police. Patterson then raised his shotgun and fatally shot Jayme's father. Jayme's mother, Denise, managed to make a 911 call. Although she couldn't speak during the call, the operator heard the commotion and shouting before the call abruptly ended. When the dispatcher called back, the call went directly to Denise's voicemail. In the meantime, Patterson was systematically searching each room, determined not to leave any witnesses behind. He then discovered a locked bathroom door where Jayme and her mother were hiding and began shooting at it in order to gain entry. Once inside, he used duct tape to bind Jayme's wrists and ankles, followed by fatally shooting Denise. He then took Jayme outside and placed her in the trunk of his car before driving away. Police arrived at the scene approximately 4 minutes after the 911 call. Patterson later informed investigators that he pulled over to the side of the road around 20 seconds away from the house and watched as law enforcement vehicles with lights and sirens passed him by. Upon reaching his cabin, Patterson had Jayme change into different pajamas, forced her under his bed, and blocked it off with heavy items from the home and held it down with weights in an attempt to keep her held captive, and went to sleep. Soon after the abduction, the Jennie-O company announced a $25,000 reward for Jayme's safe return. While being held captive in the cabin where Patterson lived, he threatened Jayme with death and punishment if she tried to escape. Patterson truly believed that Jayme was too scared to try escaping from him, confident that she wouldn't run away. Strangely, Patterson would have Jayme sleep with him in his bed at night and hid her underneath it during most of the day. Patterson did admit to having sexual fantasies about Jayme, but never acted on it because he later said that he felt terrible for killing her parents and leaving her an orphan. At times, Jayme would remain under the bed for hours at a time, without food and water. When he left the cabin, Patterson would leave loud music playing in his room in order to muffle any sounds that Jayme may have made. Then, in the afternoon of January 10, 2019, Patterson told Jayme that he was leaving for a couple of hours in order to take care of some errands. He hid her beneath his bed, surrounded by his belongings, as he typically did. However, once he left, Jayme managed to move the bin slightly and lift the weights that imprisoned her, freeing herself. She dashed out the front door wearing only a zip-up jacket, a light shirt, leggings, and a pair of Patterson sneakers. Now free, Jayme escaped down the street and quickly came upon a local woman, Jean Nutter, who just happened to be walking her dog. At first, Jean didn't recognize Jayme, but then remembered seeing her from the news reports and brought her to her neighbor's house. The police were called, and upon arrival, Jayme quickly informed them about Patterson, who had killed her parents, abducted her, and kept her captive just a few houses away from where she had been found. Despite the ordeal, neighbors found Jayme to be surprisingly calm, quiet, and somewhat surprised that Jean had remembered her from the news coverage of her disappearance. She kept repeating that her name was Jayme. "I'm Jayme, I'm Jayme," she told them. Around 4:45 p.m., police escorted Jayme away for her safety. The description she provided of Patterson and his vehicle allowed deputies to locate his car just minutes later. Patterson ironically was driving past his house while returning from his errands. When a deputy pulled him over, the first thing Patterson said as he stepped out of his car was, "I did it." Jayme was admitted to the hospital under guard, and the next day she was released in the custody of her aunt Jennifer Smith. On January 24th, Hormel, the parent company of the Jennie-O plant where Jayme's parents had worked, announced that they would award Jayme the $25,000 in reward money for rescuing herself. The police didn't find any indication that Patterson had communicated with Jayme or her family through social media, and her relatives were unfamiliar with Patterson's name. According to Patterson's account, he simply saw Jayme getting onto a school bus near her family home in September while he was driving back from temporarily working at the Jennie-O plant. He said that he knew that she was the girl he wanted to take. He was formally charged on January 14, 2019, with 2 counts of first-degree intentional homicide, 1 count of kidnapping, and 1 count of armed burglary. On March 27th, he pleaded guilty to 2 counts of intentional first-degree homicide and 1 count of kidnapping. On May 24th, Patterson was handed the harshest sentence possible, 2 consecutive life imprisonments without parole for the murders of James and Denise Closs, along with an additional 40 years for the kidnapping. Douglas County authorities chose not to pursue charges related to Closs's 88 days in captivity, believing there was enough evidence to secure a life sentence without parole, without additional charges, and to spare Jayme from further questioning. On June 20th, Jake Patterson was officially registered as a sex offender. In July, he was moved from the Dodge Correctional Institution to an out-of-state prison in New Mexico, where he will remain incarcerated for the rest of his natural life. The strength that Jayme displayed under her ordeal was truly inspiring. The community's support for Jayme never waned. They rallied around her with unwavering love and were determined to help her heal and rebuild her life. Today, Jayme is a symbol of resilience and strength. She has moved forward with her life, surrounded by a loving community and a supportive family, taking on the role of advocate for other missing and exploited children. Her story has garnered significant media coverage, shining a spotlight on the issue of child abduction and underscoring the importance of increased support for both victims and their families. The abduction of Jayme Closs teaches us several important lessons. It reminds us to be vigilant, look out for our neighbors, and nurture the bonds of community. It also underscores the importance of never losing hope, even in the darkest of times. Thank you for sharing your time with me today as we delved into the abduction of Jayme Closs. Remember to appreciate the safety and security in our lives and cherish the moments with our loved ones. If you found this video informative, please like the video and share it with your friends. Also subscribe to stay updated on upcoming content. As always, we will continue to explore the crossroads of light and shadow for our next terrifying tale or haunted location. Until next time, thank you for watching.